your source for everything paranormal. Para X. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The calling.
You know, so there. You guys are missing out. Big time. So you go on in and stuff. Now, you guys ever going to do anything bigger, such as, like doing not just wine, but like hard liquor? You guys going to be doing shots of Patron or anything?
I'm down.
We might, yeah. We might venture to that. She's more down for it than I am. You saw my face when I tried the Malort, so. But yeah, we'll mix it up in there.
You don't have to twist my arm. I will try.
Gotcha. Yep, we can hear you now, Jerry. Okay, thank you, Cece. We appreciate that. Wow, okay. And when it comes to the spirit thing, like Megan, what is your take on ghosts and stuff like that? Have you ever done any kind of investigating or anything happened to you? Like, let's go back when you were a child,
Mm-hmm.
And what have you seen or done or anything like that?
All right. So ever since I was a kid, I've been dealing with things all my life. It's been a constant. All the women in my family have, actually, even the super religious ones. So I find that really funny. They denounce it like it's bad, but like everybody in our family has dealt with it. From shadow people to full apparitions to everything.
What's the first thing that you've seen where you actually stopped and said, "Oh my God, that was real. I seen that"?
It was a little girl.
Really? And
So
what happened? Where were you?
So we had flown to Pennsylvania. It was a small town where my family was from, and it was a 110-year-old farm. So after we left there, and it was creepy, I saw handles moving, doors opening. It was a very old home. We flew back home, and ever since then, even to this day, I still see a little girl. And I started seeing everything ever since then.
Wow. It's that same little girl that you seen then?
Mm-hmm.
What does she do? When does she come around?
Oh my gosh, it's hit or miss, really. A lot at night, and I get sleep paralysis, so I tend to see her more then, but I still see her outside of that too. So
Right. Wow. So Karen in the chat room is asking, who do you think this little girl is?
So after we had left the farm, my mom and grandma sat me down and told me our family history, which is a little disturbing to say the least. But our family, there were women in our family in Pennsylvania who were killed for practicing black magic, being witches. And then ever since then, there was a child, and I can't remember if they said it was a girl or boy, but they died on the farm in the pig pen randomly. And yeah,
I remember that.
So
story.
I'm kind of thinking it's that child, but because it was ever since I was at the farm. So that's the only thing that really makes sense to me.
Were the people in your past, were they actually, the people from Pennsylvania, were they powwowers per chance?
What does that mean?
powwowers. It's not what you think. It's not Native American. It's actually an old German Dutch type of black magic, if you want, but it's a practiced art that a lot of people still practice today. There's a book out which is fantastic by my favorite author, Sylvia. Not Sylvia Brown. Don't even think I'm going to say her. Sylvia Schultz. She did a book on a woman called, oh my God, here it goes again. There goes my memory. Well, this woman was actually, when she was younger, they probably weren't powwowers, but they probably used powwowers. That's correct. That's very correct. What I mean by this, okay, is in Pennsylvania at the time, back in the 1800s and stuff, there was a young girl, and her grandmother was a powwower, and she had the power. This woman could see all sorts of things. There was this boy that she liked, but he was from a well-off family, and she really liked him, and he liked her. Well, they were told that they couldn't be together ever, and she put a curse on her own granddaughter, and so it made her look like she was mad, and they took her away and put her into an institution, and this is for real. This is real life, and for 44 years, that's what the book is called, 44 Years of Darkness by Sylvia Schultz, and 44 years she spent in a twin bed size, like casket almost, and they never took her out.
Oh my God.
She bit her fingers off. She broke many bones. She clawed her eyes out, everything, and that's for real. They thought she was totally insane. And one day they brought her to Peoria, Illinois, because a doctor there decided that he's going to try to help her. So 44 years she was in this bed, and he started helping this woman. Violin music was the big thing that she loved and stuff, and she was actually calm and stuff. When she got calm, she died. Now, being buried where she's at and stuff, you can go there, and all sorts of things happen at her gravesite. It's pretty incredible, and I just wish I could remember it. Rana Derry, that was her name. Rana Derry. It's really a good book. I got the PDF. I'll send it to you guys. It's really good. It was just an amazing book, very well written. Let's see. It's a generational curse that can be broken. All magic is bad, I believe. I don't really think so. I think that not all. It depends upon how you use it. You know, there's white witches or natural witches. There is black magic out there. Definitely was. But I don't think that all magic is bad. Like Karen says, it's a cultural family thing. And yeah, Kat was even saying there's a lot of cool designs you see on barns that are German. It's a powwow hex symbol. It's actually to ward off certain things and stuff. So it's pretty amazing if you've ever seen it. It's pretty cool. The power's in the person. They are things, of course, that don't fully understand. Wow, everybody's just talking like crazy. That's great, guys. Thank you very much. But can I do my show now? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking around. So, well, that's pretty cool. I mean, so this little girl, let's go back to the little girl for a second. Is there certain things like that's happening at your time in your life when you see her? Like, is there extra stress, very low stress? So it's high stress.
High stress.
This is where you speak. Yep. Okay. So it is high stress, and that's when you see her, and she comes to you.
Yep.
Why are you laughing? I just thought it was funny. It's like we're on the radio and you ask somebody something and then they put their head yes or no.
Yep.
And it's like, hey, this is radio. You kind of need to speak here. Well, that's interesting. It's funny is that down in Walcott, when we did that, first started doing it, there was a little girl by the name of Emily. We thought it was Emily. It was actually Emma Lee. And she took a liking to myself and Katie on the team of Sim. And we got her to cross over, and she had free will. So she used to come around quite a bit when we were there, and there was always a special way that she would make herself known, and it was extremely interesting. Bella, you've been to Walcott with us, haven't you?
I have not yet.
You haven't?
Oh,
Bella.
I know. And I think the few times that you guys did go, it was like really cold out. I was like, eh.
Yeah, it does lose its luster when it's really cold out. When it's warmer out, it's better. But then at the same time, you have to fight with wood ticks.
Oh, no thanks.
And mosquitoes.
No.
Skeeters.
Skeeters. But anyway, yeah, so you definitely have to you got to check it out with us one of these times. We're going to be doing an event in October down there when we are going to be doing a expo. So you're gonna have a lot of fun. I
am.
Steffi says she doesn't care.
I am.
So okay, so Bella, how did you get started with the paranormal? Let's throw it way back.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. I just had a lot of stuff happen in my childhood home to me. I would hear things, and what is weird is I would hear like a little girl's voice in my parents' room. So it's kind of weird that you had that too. But it's just I don't know if it's following me or if I'm just more sensitive to those things. But yeah, it's just been different events where I've seen shadow people, kind of catching glimpses of people out of the corner of my eye, just stuff like that. I mean, I've been experiencing a lot of it, and most recently in the house that we're living in, I've been experiencing a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, your house is pretty unique. I have never I've actually tried to clear it a couple times, and it just keeps coming back. So, I really think it's Casper that's doing that. I think he's named after Casper the Friendly Ghost, and they're just going to play, and that's it. So this is good. Okay, so now who thought of the idea again of doing the show? You said it was Casper, right?
Pretty much. I mean, we were kind of all talking about it.
We came up with the name, though.
Yeah, we came.
We'll take credit for that.
Yes.
Well, who did the artwork? The artwork is pretty cool.
Oh, that's all Casper.
Mm-hmm.
He loves doing that stuff. Yeah.
I loved it. When I seen that, I was like, oh my God, that's really sweet. I like that. Let's see. Can I put it on there? No, I can't. Darn it. Well, so what is your main goal? Do you guys ever plan on going someplace, doing something, and then coming back in, or are you pretty happy about doing it, staying right roughly where you're at right now?
Well, right now our goal is just to kind of build up our fan base, build up subscribers, get people talking about it, watching it, and then I don't know, see where it goes from there. We kind of just want to draw people in and have them enjoy what we love talking about, and everyone loves talking about the paranormal. So,
That is true. That is true. That's like what we're doing this weekend, and it would be cool if you can make it. And we understand if you can't. You have a child, and you got 2 children, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That means the husband too. But yeah, if you can make it, that would be great. But we're going to be I'm going to put a little plug in for it. We're going to be at the Humbird, Wisconsin, at the Hotel Bar and Grill, and we're going to be doing during the day, we're going to do a townhouse style meeting talking about UFOs, Bigfoot, and ghosts. And that's going to be at 2:00. And then at 4:00, 2 hours later, we're going to be doing the reveal of what we found last year that we have not shown anybody yet, of what happened there at the Humbird. And I really, when I say I put this up against things that people have seen, felt, experienced in Waverly, I really, really mean it. This place is unbelievable, where they come to you and let you know that they're there. And just the things that have happened, I mean, especially when we're not even investigating, when we're sleeping, that's the big thing when things come out. That's why I really want you to experience that, Bella, because you're going to freak on that. You'll probably just run home. I can see it now, jogging away on the phone. Okay, I'm over by Baldwin now. I'm not tired yet.
Not as bad as it was in the beginning, but I'm getting better. There are still things that creep me out, but I'm not as bad as I was in the beginning where, yes, I'm like, let me out of here.
Well, just out of curiosity, what was your feel of the first time we went down to Hayfield?
I don't know how much we can talk about that investigation, it's okay.
Yep.
Okay. That was a weird one. I mean, I got a lot of different feelings. Some of it was negative, but the one that kind of creeped me out the most was when we got the EVP of it saying my name, my actual name, and not my nickname. And we had never said anything to anyone what my real name was. Like, we've just been going by my nickname. We've just been saying Bella. We've been saying Bella the whole time throughout the entire investigation. And then on this EVP, we get this ghostly voice saying Myra.
That's weird.
And
that was bizarre.
What? And it's like from the EVP, and where it was right behind me. And there was I believe, a room back there that we kept hearing like bumping and noises and like seeing stuff in. So I'm just, that was really cool. I was kind of excited about that.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, and even when we cleared that place and everything, there was a lot of EVPs that we caught of them talking about you're not going to be able to clear it, all this other stuff, but we did. And but then they wouldn't leave it alone. That's the big thing about people. They never leave things alone, and they bring it right back again. And that kind of sucks. They just reopen themselves up. Let's see. No Kim tonight. That's right. She is, she had a work meeting, which she thought was tomorrow, but it was tonight. Karen saying, I encountered 3 Myras. Myra or Myra?
Myra.
Myra?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In the past 3 days. Oh, that means something.
That's a unique name, too, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I would like to hear more about that.
Yeah, let her rip, Karen. Let's see. So now, when you guys do the show and stuff, do you guys plan everything first when you're doing the show?
No. We'll bring like a bottle of wine, and then or three. And then we'll decide what we want to drink. But when we open it and drink it and everything, that's all on the show, like our first sips and everything like that. And the only thing that is a little planned is if we get a user story, then, we'll decide who wants to read it or if we're going to tell personal stories. So that's the only thing. Everything else, the conversation is what you hear is what you get. It's real. It's us talking, and there's nothing fabricated.
Right. Wow. So I'm going to go to your guys' site real quick here and talk about each one of the shows. Now, your shows, you roughly are anywhere from like 8 minutes to 20 minutes?
Usually maybe that 10 minutes to 20 minutes. It just depends on the content and if it's a user story versus a personal story.
Because we could go on and on, I guess.
Yeah.
About those.
But yeah, that's the range. We're trying to get it closer to that 15, 20-minute mark.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, one of the first stories that you went to, because you got 8 videos so far. So let's see now. The first video is, the first one is coming soon. So Meet the Hosts. I like the commercial you guys did for that. Was absolutely hilarious. I like it when you put in those contacts and stuff. So in so in episode 1, you guys talked about, what did you guys talk about? It's not coming up.
It's that cursed doll. Remember, Jerry?
Right? Yes.
Gave you?
The picture is creepy.
Yeah. So
the doll itself, if you've ever seen it in person, is extremely creepy. You can definitely feel there is something there. And when we sent it, it's been destroyed.
Oh,
I don't know if I had told you about that, or not, but it definitely has been destroyed. What happened is that we gave it to, we tried to give it to Johnny Zaffis, the haunted collector, and he said, Jerry, I wouldn't get to it for months, if not years, because there's people have sent me so much stuff. So he said, I'm sorry, I just can't help you. So I found these mother-daughter team that deal with dolls, and I called them up and I said, will you guys take this doll? And they said, yeah. Is it properly packed in salt? And I said, I do believe so. And you guys had it out in your garage and it was packed. So no, it wasn't like an Annabelle. It was, I posted the link above. Oh, okay. Great. Thanks for posting that. Excellent. Anyway, let's see now. It was like a homemade little doll. It wasn't that big whatsoever. And it just had so much coming off of it. It was hard to handle. But anyway, so it was sent to these ladies. They got it. They cleaned it off. They were going to do some tests on it the next day. They have a room, which they call the doll room, and they took the doll and they put it up with the rest of the dolls, okay, in this room. And they went to bed. Now, they're both deputy sheriffs, and they both have guns and stuff, of course. And in the middle of the night, the door was being kicked severely hard, and they could feel something happening. And so they ran over, they got their guns out, they kicked the door in, and there that one doll is sitting by itself while all the other ones, which there was a dozen more, were on the other side of the room away from it. Wow. So they immediately took that doll. They went to the church next door. They dug a hole. They put, all sorts of different stuff on it, more salt and everything. And they did a lot of prayer and everything. And they burned it right there. And they took the ashes and they mixed it. I can't remember what they said, with Florida water and some other stuff and everything, and then reburied it again. And now it's on hollow ground. It cannot escape. It is never coming back. So I remember you saying in that episode, Bella, that you were, kind of hoping that it's never going to come back. It will not. It is not coming back. Yeah. Good. And it was weird is that when you first told me about that, Stephanie actually told me to get a hold of her witch friend, and now I can't remember her name, Kristen Barton. So I got a hold of her, and Kristen told me to tell you to take a brick and bury it in the backyard, but to, believe it or not, this is kind of gross, you guys, is to urinate on the brick and place it over the doll, put salt around it and everything. And I think it was charcoal, too. Charcoal was to actually soak in everything so nothing then could ever come back. And then leave it there. But it had to be facing the west, if I'm correct, and leave it there for 4 days, and then dig it back up again and all that stuff. And Bella was like, I don't think that's going to be happening. I just want to get rid of this thing. You know, oh, that's right. She said that that you could then clean it off, and you would be able to keep it if you wanted it. And you were like, "No, I don't want that. I don't want it back."
I'm like, no, I'm glad to be rid of it. And I was going to actually ask you that if they destroyed it completely, because we were talking about it on one of our podcasts, and I'm like, I don't know what happened to it. I'm just glad it's gone.
Yeah. Well, now you can tell them the story that it was an incredibly, well, I would have to say a demonic doll. It was that bad. You know, it was horrible.
Of it too.
So it was hideous. Okay, so we're going to go on break, guys, and we'll be right back in about 2 minutes or so.
If you're looking for a truly unique podcast experience, we have you covered. Spirit Bayou with CJ Dunham airs live from the Third Coast in Southeast Texas on Tuesday and Fridays at midnight Eastern Time, covering Creole folklore and folk magic to strange paranormal activity to new equipment for the field. CJ Dunham is a Catholic swamp witch, a devotee to our Mother Mary in the Trinity, a true believer in our Lord, the Holy Ghost, and Christ. Peace be with your spirit and the spirits by you.
Hey Heidi, have you listened to The Calling lately?
Why, yes, Steph, I have. It's really good. Have you?
Absolutely. It's what I would say is a wild and woolly affair.
So does that mean it's a wild and woolly Wednesday show?
Well, I definitely think that that's true.
So you know we listen, since The Calling is the sibling show to our show, The Gathering.
Listen to The Calling radio show with Jerry and Kimberly Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Right here on the Para X Radio Network.
Dead Zone. I want to give a huge shout out to Shauna and congratulations on her new podcast, Exploring the Paranormal Perspective. You'll hear some amazing guests like me, paranormal and true crime stories, and more. Catch her Wednesdays at 8 Central on the Para X Radio Network.
Your source for everything paranormal. Para X.
And we're back. This is Jerry again from The Calling and from Supernatural Investigators Minnesota. Now, if you did not get a chance to hear the first part of this show, guess what? Tomorrow you can. So tomorrow I will be taking the show and putting it on our website, www.thecallingradioshow.com, and on our YouTube channel, The Calling Radio Show. Also, too, hey, you know what? Para X has got tons of super cool shows out there. Look for them. You don't even have to look. Every day, just go on and it's like, boom, there's another one. It's like, really? You go the next day, boom, there's another one. Oh, my God, it's a plethora of paranormal information. Like right after this show, stick around for Shauna. She has Geeks Paranormal, and her show will be right after ours. And every Tuesday night, it's The Gathering. And The Gathering with Stephanie and Heidi. They have a great time. Last night they had a fantastic show. Listen to them every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on ParaXRadioNetwork.com. Okay, so now we are back with the ladies here, Megan and Bella. So can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we got some people asking questions. Where was it now? So did they move to its place, or did all the rest of them move away from it? All the rest of them actually moved away from it, as in across the room onto another shelf. Now, these are all haunted dolls, and they go through and they do investigations on them, and they try to get the reason for them being haunted. This, again, is a mother-daughter team down in South Carolina or North Carolina. I can't remember. And actually the the things that they were told to do, actually, Kristen Barton is a high priestess, Wiccan high priestess. So it wasn't powwowing. Let's see. They probably jumped. The doll was horrible. They jumped, they climbed, they ran. They never went back. Let's see. And the Hawaiian spirits, nobody in the family believed what was happening, and I was pregnant at the time. It was horrible. Now, that's not Casper. That's got to be you, right?
Oh, no, it was my family, like my parents and stuff like that. I was telling them what was happening with the doll every time I touched it, and they didn't really believe me because my sister believes in that stuff, but my parents are kind of skeptical because they're also religious, even though stuff happens to them, but they discount it. They kind of sweep it under the rug. They don't want to talk.
You know, a lot of people I've noticed do that. They just don't want to face that there could be that possibility of something. You know, it's bizarre. Megan, what is your stand on UFOs?
Oh gosh, I've never seen one, but I believe they exist.
Do you believe that there's possible life on other planets?
I know it's super weird, but I believe that. But yeah, I do.
Yep. No, I agree with you too. Though a lot of times when people see UFOs and stuff, I always think it's like us. We send like drone or unmanned ships to places. Could be the same. They could be coming from a very far place, far, far away. A little Star Wars action there. In a galaxy far, far away. That's what I was trying to say. But yeah, I still believe that there's something going on. Now, we do have a case, and we did, believe it or not, okay, this is the first time you guys are going to hear this, but 2 weekends ago, we went down to Walcott, and there was something that was walking in the area that they say that there are grays. They say there's a colony of grays, aliens. And we did see something down there. Who was riding with me? It was Steph and was it Katie? I don't remember. But anyway, they really thought that there was, I really believe that there's something there. Though we did think we seen an UFO at one time, but it was the biggest drone I've ever seen. And so nowadays, it's got to be so tough to see UFOs, to be able to believe it's UFOs because the amount of drones around. Mm-hmm. And, the size of some of these drones, they're as big as a bus. It's right. Like, why would they be out around that area? I don't seem to get it. But anyway, so going to go right back to Megan again. Bigfoot. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Anything's possible, pretty much?
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Okay. But I wanted to jump back to the UFO. My husband, when he was a kid, saw one.
Oh, is that right?
Yep, this was, way back when, before drones existed.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Where's he from?
Mendota Heights.
Oh, okay, so pretty much right here in the cities and stuff like that. Gotcha. Okay.
He always brings it up. He's like, that one time I saw a UFO. It was funny. And I forget the story, otherwise I can tell it.
What year was it?
Late 90s.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, mine, the most I've ever seen was actually between 1965, yeah, I'm an old guy, to 1976, 77. And there was tons up in Bemidji. It was just rampant with them. What about you, Bella? What do you think about UFOs?
What's interesting is I was going to talk to Megan about this, exploring it in a podcast, because I had a very eerie dream the other night, which I won't discuss. You'll see it on the podcast.
Oh, come on.
It was so eerie, and it makes me think, did that actually happen to me? And it's just a repressed memory. Like, why? I've never, ever dreamed about UFOs, aliens, anything like that. And this dream was just, it was super weird. And it felt so real that it like jolted me out of my sleep. So, but I can't tell you. Sorry.
Oh, no, I understand. So I just can't wait. Is it going to be on your next show coming up on Thursday?
Not that one, but I would actually like to hear Bill's story. So we're going to actually make a whole episode about it.
Okay. So what do we have to look forward to on this coming Thursday? Maybe a little sneak peek?
I believe it's about was it sleep paralysis?
It was your sister's story.
Oh, it was our sister's.
Oh, yes. We were elaborating on the Shadow Man.
From what happened in the previous episode.
And which was weird because we were talking about how it seemed to follow in everyone's story, but the description was always the same.
Mm-hmm.
So she talks about her sister's story, I talk about my sister's story, and we talk about seeing shadow people. So
wow, okay. Well, that should be really interesting.
Hers wasn't. Mine was threatening. Hers wasn't. The shadow person that I saw.
Really?
Yes. Well, in one of the episodes, you see it happening as we're talking about him.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
It dims down, and we didn't know it because we're not looking at the screen. Mm-hmm. But Casper actually said,
as soon as we said Shadow Man, everything got dark.
It got darker.
Wow. I'm going to have to rewatch that episode. I think somebody called me at the same time, and I'm like, dude, I'll call you back. I'm listening to. And then I should have just looked at it again. But no, you guys got some really cool stuff.
Yeah, and that was exciting for me because we haven't had anything paranormal happening while we've been doing our podcast. And we had like 2 in that episode with the dimming and then also the orb coming out of her chest. So we were really excited about that.
Gotcha. And that's episode 4. Casper wrote it down on there. Wow. Ghost in the Valley says, I believe 100% they're out there and they're not us. Yeah. And Ghost in the Valley, he has his own show, Al. Al, you should get these ladies on. They're pretty darn good.
Yeah.
There's Shauna. She's late again. Finding you a dozen cookies, darling. So let's see. All right, so you got this going on and everything. Anything going on where you guys plan on at least checking a place out or anything, or,
We might. I mean, we're trying to get the audio and everything under control because we kind of want to take our podcast outside at places too, probably in the future when it gets warmer out. But yeah, we're trying to expand this because we love doing it. We love talking about the paranormal and of course drinking wine. So if we can get some more subscribers, get some people liking it, watching our show, and we love the feedback that we get from people. Also, user stories are a huge thing. So if you have a story, submit it. The link for the email will be in the description of the video. So people can submit their own user stories, and then we will read them.
There you go. So now, have you gotten any stories from people that are just completely, you're like, no, that cannot have happened? I see a light just came on in Megan's eyes.
The mimic.
Oh, yeah. We did read a user story about a mimic where it was a guy who was home. His parents were on vacation or whatever. He heard his mom downstairs saying it's time for dinner. And he's like, oh, that's not right. And he looks down and he said, Mom, you're home. And it was just this thing that looked like his mom smile up at him in the stairs and just turns around and walks back into the kitchen. And he's like, oh, something's not right. So he closed his door. And then
he called his
mom and she was still out
of state.
Out of state.
Yeah.
Was not there. So, and we were just discussing like how I've had stuff happen like that where I've been upstairs and I can hear Casper's voice. It's actually his voice saying, hey, baby, or hey, Myra. And then I'll be like, did you call me? And he's like, I didn't say anything. And I'm just like,
wow.
yeah, or I'll hear my son, Gio, I'll hear his little cry. He's not even home. So, I mean, it's just, we've had lots of weird stuff happen like that. Stuff,
Your house is really different. You know, I always thought that there was a pull coming from the neighbor's house. That's what it feels like, a pull coming from that, because you guys are in a duplex, or what do they call it?
Condos, but they're like attached.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and our neighbor just actually had some really scary health issues. So I feel like it's just this section. And I don't know the neighbors behind us, so I don't know if they have anything going on. But it's constant.
I can see where he says he feels that pull.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel it when you're in here.
You can. You can definitely. Oh, that's right. You guys are in the house right now.
Yep.
Now, we had something really strange happen in your house. One night we were going to do an investigation. It was myself, Stephanie, Katie, and Nicole. And as we're going through now, her hubby works for Google, and he shut off all the Google stuff so that there was no cameras on or anything like that. Or no, there was cameras on, but it was completely shut down?
The cameras were on, but I think he shut like all the air off, any of the Wi-Fi stuff,
right,
and stuff, so that there wasn't any like other noise. So, and I think he might have turned the mics off, so there's no way that it could have been activated by you guys. There was no interference.
Well, it was so weird because we're investigating the place. We went upstairs in their loft, and we were doing an EVP session, and all of a sudden we could hear this talking coming from downstairs. And I said, "Are you guys hearing that?" They're like, "Yeah." So we all walked downstairs, and you can hear this like that. And I said, "Hey, Google, what are you talking about?" And it says, "I have no idea." Oh, my God. My Google thing went off. That kind of like scared me a bit. That's funny.
Eyes it off too.
I was like, what the heck? So anyway, and it answered me back. And right away, we got a hold of you guys, of Casper, and said, you know, this is this thing still on? And I remember Casper saying, no, it was not. And then he checked it out, and he's like, there's no way that thing could have done that.
Well, at their house, they turned the mic off on their little Google Mini, and it was still activating, like, randomly with the mic turned off.
And actually the last couple nights especially, it's been constant. We had to unplug it, and I was honestly afraid it would start talking still.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And Jerry's listening to voices in his head. Thank you, Caro. And then let's see, Karen's saying she's had some weirdness with her Alexa. I'll be darned. I don't know. I think it's, you know, the Russians are coming after us, guys. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to conspiracy theorist. So, but it's really weird. It's really weird. So, yeah, that was the weirdest thing that we've ever found at your place when that happened. You know, and that and the knock at your side door.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got that knock. So, weird. Okay, and Casper's even saying we turned off all mics, disconnected them from the Wi-Fi. The only items running were cameras, used as extra footage to be studied from SIM. And SIM is us. We're SIM. That's where I put my knuckles on my hips, stick out my chest. So, yeah, crazy. Okay, so... yeah, you know, you can use any stories you want from SIM. You know what I would really like to do is to take both of you with your hubbies and go down to Walcott.
That would be cool.
My husband is doing the, what are those called? Rock On.
Yeah.
He was doing the Rock On. Okay. For some reason, I was reading in your face that he was going, no, I'm scared. But no, that's not it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we should take you guys there and for you guys to experience it, because it's an incredible place. It's fun and enjoyable, but you can't bring the kids. Though
No.
actually, your son Gio would be a great trigger object.
Yeah, probably. But probably really sketch.
That's why I'm wondering if the activity wasn't kicked up as much is because we removed him from the room because he wasn't there. Because it seems to kick up and center around him. Like there would be times where it will look like he's talking to something or someone that we can't see. So,
are your grandparents still around?
No, not mine.
How about Casper's?
Nope.
No. Okay, you should talk with your parents. I'm just curious on this. I'm throwing this out about what the beliefs are of your grandparents and stuff. Especially when it comes to kids, when it comes to you and then your kids. Have they ever said anything about they would really like to, have met your child or something like that? You know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
I just wonder if there's any kind of a tie with that. So that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
They're probably saying, "Oh, Beatrice, no, she's good. The best one is Bella, and she's going to have a great child. And I wish we could have met her, but we met Beatrice instead." No, I'm kidding. Don't tell Beatrice that. But,
Funny.
So, okay, well, this is good. Yeah, nothing like using a real-life trigger object, but no, we never would. That's like we'd never use animals either. No way. Nope, ain't going to happen. So is there anything that we're down to? We got like 9 minutes left. So anything that you guys look at you're like, oh. Anything that you both want to bring in and ask questions about? Don't just point at her.
Well, I didn't know if she wanted to go first. I feel like I'm like talking, like dominating.
I mean, you'll get to know I'm probably one of the most awkward people ever. So getting used to doing this is going to take me a minute.
Okay. Well, Megan, you're next. So is there any kind of thing you want to bring in and kind of, talk about or anything like that?
No.
God.
Well, so the day I kind of wanted to go back to one of the podcasts we had for shooting, and we were talking about the Shadow Man. So our child often sees that same shadow figure at night walking upstairs, and he's said it's been in his room, like it wakes him up.
Yeah,
and it's like very weird.
It's hard because we talk about these concepts, and that's another reason why we did the show too, is because we talk about those things that some people might be afraid to talk about, because you try to tell Joe Schmo about this and they might look at you like you're crazy, but if you're among people who are kind of like-minded and like talking about the paranormal, then it's a lot easier. So we're hoping by sharing our personal stories and things that happen to us and our abilities, being sensitive, more people will come out and talk about it and share their stories with us too. So that's another thing we want to get out of this podcast, is making people feel comfortable and letting them know that they're not alone. And we do believe, send us your stories so that we can tell them, and don't be afraid to hold back.
Right. So curiosity then, for both of you ladies, whoever wants to take the question, is there something that that you have experienced or anything that you're just not quite comfortable about talking about it yet?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I have some stuff. I mean, I feel like I'm sensitive. I don't know how to use that gift. Like, I haven't honed in on it, but stuff happens to me regularly. I do have an experience that I want to talk about, but it makes me kind of sad to talk about because it's about a best friend of mine who passed. See, I'm getting teary-eyed already. Mm-hmm. So I haven't built up the courage to talk about it yet, but I had so many different signs that something happened to him, and no one really believed me, and I started to get worried. And so that's kind of like where I'm at, is like when I talk about it, I feel like people look at me like I'm crazy. Same. So
gotcha.
I'm building up the courage to talk about it more, and that's why I like doing this podcast, because we can freely talk about what we want to, and some people might judge and not believe the stories, but we believe it, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
And that's why we keep telling people to send us their stories so we can talk about it.
Right. Well, I'm like a huge skeptic on stuff. You know that. Things got to be pretty much proven to me. But when it comes to certain things, and so far, I mean, everything that I've heard from you, Bella, and from you, Megan, I believe you ladies. I think it's really interesting, and I really support you guys. And now there's another person saying they would love to have you on their show. So there's two right there.
Let's go.
And we also have a question from one of the troops. And what they're asking is, are you both from the United States, or is there anything that pretty much we kind of answered that question. Anything that somebody from out of the country that has brought something in that you guys are afraid to talk about or investigate? And when it comes to the doll, is this doll something that was made by a family member?
Yes, it was. It was made by my extended family member. So, and that's where it gets kind of creepy, because it's like, if it's family, why would they make something like that? But we did talk about that too, where she had a family member curse a child. Mm-hmm. And I mean, don't really understand it, but it happens.
Right.
It's a different kind of hatred that's unseen, that you don't know why it exists, but it's there. So, yeah.
Right.
Yes, we are from the U.S.
We lived in Japan for a few years and had some crazy experiences there.
Yep.
But obviously, those stories will be.
Go ahead, check out the podcast if you want to hear her.
Oh, that's great.
But she did actually talk about it on one of our episodes. So, and it was pretty good. So, gotta check it out though.
Is that the what was it? The blob thing?
No, it was.
This was the mimic episode, I believe, where she heard stuff.
I don't remember.
And I mean, it was pretty interesting, but I know we don't have enough time to talk about it. But if you check out, I don't remember which episode number it was, but it was called The Mimic, was a title, and it was episode 4, I believe. But yeah, it was pretty cool. She's got a lot of cool Japan stories that you guys are gonna.
Because we lived in Okinawa, so it was one of the deadliest battles of World War II. And actually, right behind our house, they were uncovering bodies of hundreds of women and children while we were living there. The whole scene was blocked off for quite a while, actually.
Wow.
So we had weird experiences in that house. And it's...
Gotcha. Wow. Okay. All right. That's it. Looks like there's no questions or anything. I just wonder if that's one of the guys that actually listens to your show, because why would he talk about, out of the country and stuff? So that's pretty interesting. But just let everybody know that if you do listen to their show, or if you would just check it out, again, they're small little shows and stuff like that, so it's easy to sit down and just listen to the whole thing. What else you guys do? You're supposed to work?
Exactly.
Come
guys.
on, take off.
On your drive to work, you can just listen to it too.
That's true. Check it out. Make sure you subscribe. And just like I always say, please subscribe to the Calling Radio Show. at YouTube. Also, please subscribe. But we're coming down to the end of the show and everything. If you guys go to, let's see. Oh my gosh, there's just too much. Everything's going so fast. So, okay, well, ladies, thank you so much. This was really a great time. I want to thank all the troops for listening and for sending us messages of what they wanted to ask the girls. Thank you, Para X. Thank you, Sarge. You're the bomb. And everybody, will see you next Wednesday. And don't forget about their show on Thursday. Good night.
Jerry, thank you.